My gut tells me that they were ambushed.
So, I had assumed this whole time for 6 months now that it happened in the middle of the night.
And now we know it was the middle of the day. Absolutely.
Broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
I don't want to get her involved in this. I don't want to ruin her life. Like it's something like this. I don't want her involved in this. Okay.
At some point, Chris locates what's called a dry bag.
Brian Laundrie's body has been found. Law enforcement had considered Laundrie the only person of interest in the murder of his fiancée, Gabby Petito.
You're the one that filed the missing persons report.
Yeah, and I'll totally come forward with that.
That's all it is the truth. So there's nothing to hide in that coroner's report. There's nothing to hide by not having Allie take a polygraph. And if the truth comes out, and this was a...
How do you deal with it? I had to sneak the other day when I was with Josie. I had to sneak and talk to him. I had to sneak and talk to him about his sister.
Makes me think the worst. Did you imagine all three of them?
Hi, everyone. Can chat hear me? Just want to do a sound check, and thanks for being here, Amanda.
Hey, that was a great intro.
Thank you. I just added a little bit of clips to it. But yeah, it's just something a little new for everyone to get the show started. And I'm hearing that they can hear us. Okay, cool. Hi, Dave and Frankie, CDT, and everyone in chat. Karen, thank you guys for being here. And again, thank you for joining me, Amanda. CDT might join us, but either way, she's in chat. And yeah, we're just going to be going through some recent statements made by a whole bunch of people in and around the case. So I hope you guys enjoy what I've kind of clipped together, and I hope that it's informative too. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just hanging out, just a regular day here at home. I got the kids busy, so hopefully we can have a good live.
Oh yeah, we'll be good. They're good.
They're fine.
So I don't know. I got a lot of different clips. Like I said, I've got Benny, I've got Andrew and Allie, H's parents' new interview that they did today. The Jose stuff, and then the Jose updated interview with Chris McDonough, just a lot of stuff that we can just talk through and work through. And yeah, just some notes. We'll start off with a really interesting video that Crazy Crime Chick did in reference to part of the Ernie Shell interview that he did with Candus, and they were discussing the scream heard by Jody Sue. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, let me play that, and we'll start there. And then everyone, mind you, subscribe to Amanda S. Vita's channel and Crazy Crime Chick, CDT. I can't recommend these channels enough as far as giving you guys facts and really vetting the information. So it's much appreciated, everything that you guys do. I do say, we're always in chat, even behind the scenes. And I just know that you guys really research. And I feel like it's underrated, how good you guys vet all your information. And I don't know. I think you guys deserve a lot of credit for everything that you've done so far in the Summer Wells case. Because I know that you guys were talking to people in and around the case, very early on. And it's been really vital information that I think everyone's pulled out of this. And that's what the other thing, while I'm on it real quick, is I'm going to be showing creators tonight that not everyone may like. I might even play this JLR clip that I'd seen. And I just want to emphasize that everyone brings their own spin and their own techniques and things like that to this open case. And it's just interesting. Even if you don't agree with the creators or whatever, you can't deny that, Jose's information has been kind of interesting. And, I've been loving it. I don't know about you.
Honestly, there has been so much. I haven't caught up myself, but I can't deny that I enjoy seeing at least some information being put out when there's felt like such stalemate for a while.
Yeah, definitely a stalemate. And I know that some people are kind of feeling like, oh, it's only been more confusing since Jose has spoken out. But in a way, like, I feel like he has just re-emphasized and reiterated the certain things that we've kind of already known. Like, yes, it's just more of the same information, but it makes it seem to me that like there's just a chunk of information that we can rely on as being that's probably the truth. That's probably what the living conditions were like. That's, the head shaving was probably from lice. I mean, this was probably a bad environment, hence why CPS took the boys away. So I don't buy everything that he's said, but we'll just go through it all.
And so much is happening that honestly, my opinions have started to shift because I was kind of stuck in one place for a while because I didn't want to pass off too much judgment. But so much time has passed and we all know why we're here. Summer Wells is still missing and we don't know why. And this is, it's still baffling, but my opinions are changing every time I hear something new.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like my theory, and that's the thing is like, I hope that, people, this is an open investigation. Like, I don't see how people could be set on one thing and like aim towards that one theory, like there just seems to be like a lot of things up on the table that could be possible. You know what I mean? So I just think, and I'm glad that chat is very like open-minded and knows that like we're just trying to sift through all this stuff and find what we think might be the truth. So we'll just go through it all. And I feel like there'll probably be some stuff that you haven't seen then as I'm showing you this, if you got to get caught up.
Yeah, you do have some stuff that I haven't listened to yet. So that kind of, I hate to say it's kind of exciting though.
All right, let's do this then. If I can figure this out. Here we go.
Jody Sue was in her cabin with her teenage kids, 19 and 14, waiting for any help.
We were kind of hyper alert because of property things that had happened the day before. So we were listening for noise. Everything was kind of quiet.
The sale brought a plethora of people to their door, confused about which piece of land was for sale, leading to a dispute of property lines.
While we were out at one point doing survey lines, and there was a flash of a car that went up Candus and Donnie's driveway. Something about it struck me wrong.
She and her family next heard a truck door slamming and dismissed it as their neighbors. The next sound was harder to justify. About an hour and a half before Summer is thought to go missing, Jody Sue, her son, and her daughter heard something far more suspicious. A scream.
Stopped all three of us cold.
Her daughter was the first to go to the cabin door. Then all three were there, listening still.
We heard just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
We decided to go out, look and see what we could see. We went back onto the bank. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything.
They went on with their evening. The kids returned to being kids. Jody Sue headed down her driveway around 6 to tend to flowers.
And at this point, I start hearing Candus hollering for Summer. And then my brain immediately went, scream earlier, this, uh-oh.
Jody Sue was the first to hear those calls and the first to join the search for Summer.
I dropped my purse. I tried to yell up at Candus. I was like, I'm looking, and I started looking.
Jody Sue searched one side of a creek, Summer's brothers the opposite side. And you gave statements to the police, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Jody Sue had been interviewed many times by investigators, bringing up the scream often. But the sheriff doesn't believe the scream is related to the disappearance of Summer Wells.
She's been interviewed numerous times by not only my agency, but the TBI and FBI, and we don't find anything with that complaint or information related to this case.
The truth shall set you free.
Look, I don't know all this stuff. I don't know about Jackie Dobbs. I've just heard about him. I don't know about Jody Sue. I've talked to Jody Sue time and time again, and every time she talks to me, her story has changed.
Like in how?
Okay, like, for instance, like, she said that she was down on the bottom after she heard somebody scream or whatever. She was never at the bottom of that driveway. I drove down there faster than she could fucking fly.
Okay. So she said, so the scream, of course, is out of the question now, right? There was no scream, right?
There's no scream, dude. She's maced all that shit up.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Why would
Well, it was convenient that she came up with that way later than the actual
Her
reporting.
and her kids make all that shit up later in the description to fit her narrative.
Why? For what?
I don't know what. I really don't know why. I guess to make her look like she's got to fit herself into the party somewhere.
I have questions.
Yeah.
To code online in less than a year.
I don't understand how I just don't get how the sheriff can just call it as unfounded. It's like how do they determine that she's not credible in a way? I mean, that's essentially what they're saying.
Well, that and yeah, that like how would you even know? Were you there? Did you hear it? Did you not? But it kind of it helps Candus's story. And the thing that bugs me about what Candus said was she's like, she didn't hear anything. She wasn't down there. It's like, how would you know too? Like if there was no scream, how would you know that you went down there at the moment when the scream was supposed to have done? Like, does that make any sense?
Right. And actually Ernie said he talks more about the scream with her. I might even have a clip of it in these clips, and she was just like not trying to
entertain it.
Yeah. Like very much bash Jody Sue.
And I mean, they kind of bash each other. Someone in comments said, wait a minute, Jody Sue said that she was planting flowers too. And Jody Sue actually said, I had real flowers to plant that day. So like they're kind of, they go tit for tat on that one. But
Right.
She says that she was doing flowers, but she had real flowers.
Yeah, and threw subtle shade at like the whole we planted flowers story.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I don't even know if I took a clip of it, but I just remembered. Allie said today in Andrew's live stream that she'd never met Jody Sue. Do you know anything about them being connected at all before this interview today? Because I swear I heard somewhere that Allie spoke to Andy, Jody Sue's fiance or whatever.
I didn't know of them having a connection, but I do believe that the Andy H was talking about in the interview with Chris McDonough was Jody Sue's fiance or boyfriend.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, there's something out there of somebody saying that Andy and Jody Sue or Andy and Allie knew each other. And I cannot like remember the source of it, but
so CDT said, and Dawn believes that there was a scream too, but Dawn isn't credible either, of course.
Right. That's right, CDT. He did say, like, yeah, my neighbor heard a scream. I think I have a video of it. He said it on Voices Behind the Wall. And hi, Demon Child, Gregory, and there was somebody else. Valerie and I don't remember. Just everyone. Alex Erickson, thank you for being here. I just want to thank everyone again. But yeah, so this scream thing, we'll get to it again later in this stream. But hi, Sky. I guess I'll just start playing these clips for you. I'm sure you've seen some of them. Chat maybe has, but I'm just going to play them and you guys let me know like your thoughts.
And remember, guys, some of these creators you may not agree with, but let's try to be respectful. Let's not get Amber into trouble. We're just trying to be all inclusive here and just get every angle that we can.
Exactly. And I think by now people know that we just want the truth. So I'm not going to boycott certain areas of this case just because I don't agree. Like, honestly, if I'll pop in, that's why I watch Benny sometimes, because I'm like, I need to think about like what they're seeing, like their perspective, because I can't just go down what everyone agrees with me on, you know what I mean? Or I would never think outside my own box.
Exactly.
Then he says, dumbass comes to the line and says dumbass shit like, yeah, I bought $3,000 worth of cocaine and gave it away to prove that I didn't have to trade my daughter for drugs. So if that was the case, Don, that would have made 2 times you had a lot of drugs. Because we know about a month before Summer went missing, you went down to Knoxville with about $300. And you came back with what she said was a wad of crack. And she told you get that shit out the house or she's gonna call the police. So you went down through the holler party and smoking, giving it away and shit, came back to the house. Then Summer goes missing. Then you would have bought the second batch of crack to give away, this time to prove you didn't trade your daughter for drugs. I want to believe there was 2 separate large crack transactions, but I just don't think there was.
And again, we want to emphasize that we just want, Candus and Don to seek the help that they need for their addiction issues. My thing that kind of piqued my interest about this little comment is he said a week before Summer went missing, Don went on a binge. And it just makes me wonder, does that have like anything to do with like, I don't know. It's just like strange. It like happened a week before she went missing.
That's some interesting family dynamic right there. Like, I don't know. If my husband came home with a whole bunch of crack, I wouldn't just tell him go get rid of it. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, why do you even have this? Don't just go party off and get rid of it. I don't know. Sounds like it was something that happened a lot.
Yeah, definitely. At one point, I think Chris McDonough said this whole scenario too. Like Chris had known about him saying like, yeah, I bought crack to prove that I didn't need to sell my kid for drugs. And Chris was just kind of like, huh?
That's so weird. What does that even mean?
It's like, I don't know. He's trying to prove that like he didn't need whatever in order to get, I have no idea. I really don't know what it even means. But yeah, it really does just show like an instability at home, which is sad,
I'm not going to put myself on blast or anything, but I'm also like, I've never been in that exact lifestyle, but I've definitely seen it. And I've never heard like that. It still makes no sense to me. I had to buy all this crack to prove that I didn't have a hand in my daughter going missing. What? That makes no sense.
Yeah. And I think at this point, Benny's like trying to like reflect and realize like that was just so strange. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck?
I almost feel bad that he knows that information. That can make you kind of go crazy.
Honestly, I feel like I've seen him age throughout this entire case. It's just everything and that's the thing that I kind of find interesting. And I think Sweetie Pie Low was talking about it also, is like whether you like, and I think Crazy Crime Chick said something earlier, like we're not researching the creators, we just want to know like information. And that he was close with the Wells,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's had conversations, and obviously, we just know what he's shown us like on YouTube and stuff all these months, but there's obviously been way more. So now these like leaks that are coming out, I find it interesting. Like I want to know, even if these little details don't mean much about June 15th, I think that it does kind of mean a lot in the sense of like their behavior before and after Summer's missing. To me, it matters.
You were going to say in the grand scheme of things, and yeah, I completely agree. This is a dynamic that kind of brings together what happened to Summer, whether it be she got kidnapped because they weren't watching her because they were so wrapped up in what they were doing, or something happened to her and they had to get rid of her because they were embarrassed for what they were doing.
Exactly. There's just so many different avenues that this could go down. I mean, if we're talking about a huge crack transaction or whatever, I mean, was something found, or you just don't know. Like, it's just adds so many elements, pretty much, all these leaks.
After I say stuff like that, I put it on mute and I take a big deep sigh because this is stuff that I've just started saying recently. Like before, I kind of only stuck to the kidnapping thing, and now I'm just, I don't know. I feel like they're showing their true colors a little bit more, or I've seen it at least, and now I feel like the other stuff could definitely be possible.
Yeah, it's really disturbing how many different sides and faces Candace and Don both have.
Yeah. And of course, all this is alleged, guys. We really don't know what happened to Summer, but that's why we're here. We're trying to like decipher it, break the code, try to figure it out. And we're just a bunch of sleuthers, but I definitely think that we have a lot of the puzzle pieces to figure it out.
I do too, and it's so much of us just bouncing things off of each other, which is why I really appreciate like the chat and the panels, and everyone out there, their research on this.
I think while I was there to be a service to Don and his family, Don thought it would be better to run off and smoke crack the whole time I was gone. There's even an informational missing persons report made on him so that it didn't go over the air and YouTube grab a hold to it. That I left.
So I just want to pause that right there. So they put out some sort of missing person report on Don at this point.
Yeah, that's what I just got. So
and this is what I mean by like a lot of behind the scene things going on. You know what I mean? That we just didn't see. So it's like, the heck?
And it was all to cover up the fact that he was on a binge. What else could they be hiding? Like, there's a saying, like, you can't cover the sun with your thumb. What else are they hiding with their thumb? Like, if they could lie about him being missing just to cover up a binge, what else is there?
Exactly.
Came home, and on the 22nd, this fool ran off again and was gone. He spent Christmas out there smoking crack, running around with hookers and shit, coming back with lipstick and panties in the car and shit, coming home cracked out of his fucking mind. So I'm like, Donnie, you gotta go to a rehab, bro. Probation called today. They want some piss. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking CPS is playing with your hair. They could play with your piss and next week you'll be good. But they start pulling hairs and shit, and that's going back 9, 10 months, 11 months. Why you keep fucking smoking that shit, knowing they're gonna play with your hair, bro?
So isn't it just crazy how much crap what's his name? Don talked about all the meth heads that were around there and all that, and then we hear about this.
Sounds like he was just jealous that the meth heads can get meth out of their system in 3 days, but he's gonna have that cocaine in his hair for 9 months. And I don't know how CPS works or DCFS, but when do they start going for hair follicle samples as opposed to urine samples?
I honestly have no idea.
And for some reason, I'm not saying Benny isn't credible, but for some reason, I believe him when he says Don would take off, do crack, and the hookers and stuff like that. That it sounds obvious, but I really think that stuff happened.
Yeah, it's painted a very vivid visual. And you know what? I almost feel like part of him saying all this out loud, Benny, I mean, is him mentally processing it. Like, I would not want to be close to these people. You know what I mean? And that's why it's like, I don't do it. You know, like if other people do it, I give them all the credit in the world. It's just something that I think is a little bit too close for me. Like, and you can tell that it wears people down. So talking this out and stuff like that, I think is a good thing to do. If you are these people who get super close to everyone involved. Like I had problems even like asking Andrew questions in chat that one day when we were in his chat.
Yeah. I went on panel with Andrew and Allie, and I said it right away. I was like, I thought when I got on panel with you guys, I was gonna have a million questions, and I didn't. Like I was stumbling for my for words. Um, once you're able to talk to people in this case, you almost they become human, and then you
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you stumble over your words. Somebody in chat had said earlier, you don't just casually do crack. It's not just like a once in a while thing. People who do it every payday. And I want to say I believe that Don never stopped doing it, or he never was clean.
What I don't understand is he was on probation. How is he not getting like why was there no fear for him pretty much, Like he got that DUI. Here he's going on binges, and I'm just like, why is his probation officer so lax? Like just to give everyone a little like background of my experience is like when I met my fiance, he was on probation, but I didn't know that until we got to know each other. And I wasn't going to judge him for it or whatever, but one day I was like chilling at my apartment and I got a knock on my door, and it was this like officer in regular clothes but had like the bulletproof vest like on, and he was there looking for my fiance. And I was like, he's at work or whatever, and it was just like that wasn't the first time that occurred, So I'm just so confused, like how Don was like so lax with things he was doing while on probation.
Well, I want to say that not all probation is the same. So he could have been on like regular probation, which is called bench probation, where you just have to, report to an officer every time you go to court and stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to take drug tests or anything. But if he was on formal probation where he had to take drug tests and stuff, I don't want to say they did this. This is, just my idea, but they did have young boys that could have provided clean urine samples for them.
Right, right. I mean, yeah, people will find a way, and they do. But I don't know. It's just I've just always kind of like wondered, and then JLR did that interview with the probation officer, and it was like really interesting to finally see this guy. But yeah, I guess you're right. Like it didn't necessarily mean that that's the type of probation he was on, or the type of procedures I guess they would follow. It's just astounds me that all this is going on, whether he's on some sort of limited probation or whatever the level is. It's like there's still an officer who's keeping this man like in check on some level, but apparently not.
I was gonna say, I guess not.
I don't know. I just wonder too, and I don't mean to sound like ignorant or whatever, but like the area with a lot of drug and crime, maybe. So there's just like not. I know that's like has a very high poverty rate, but I don't know as far as like crime rate, or maybe I don't know. Confuses me.
I definitely think that a lot of people underestimate how much money the Wells had. But I think if they were both working, which they both did, and they had just regular bills, the car payment, and let's say electricity, phones, and they don't have a house payment, they definitely had the excess money for recreational stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Candus, you said it yourself. You feel like Don's going to turn over on you. I asked you, did it have something to do with Summer? And you say, yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. But if it's not, then you were lying to me about some real serious shit. And you have no reason to lie to me at all.
Which brings up, which makes me bring up the other day when they asked Candus who she felt on the glare, who she was suspicious of, and she included her husband. And you made a video on that. She said Donnie. Yeah.
She included Donnie in that, but here he's saying Candus told him that she was afraid Donnie was going to roll on her.
Yeah.
So why would she be afraid of that? That is a huge statement to make.
Imperfectly Imperfect is asking, is Benny on the outs with Candus? I guess I'd say yes. I don't know exactly the details, but it does seem like Benny is coming clean with his suspicions from all the things that he's learned about Candace and Dawn while working with them. And
Yeah.
he's kind of letting it out.
He, I think, used the word stonewalled. Like, I think he got to a point where he just was realizing Candace was lying to him too about certain things, or there was some sort of trust that was just not a solid ground foundation anymore between him and the Wells. And
And
I
she
think,
does do that. I think one thing I heard him say was he knew she was lying to him when she was saying she wasn't drinking, and you could audibly tell that she was drinking.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't say something's not like it's like the grass is green, but you're trying to say it's blue, It's like, but we can see it.
And in her opinion, she says she's unable to lie. So, I think she's just lying. I think Candace is a liar.
Yeah, she said she didn't have the energy to lie.
She said it wasn't in
I
her.
thought that was a
She said it wasn't
strange
in her
phrase.
metabolism.
Yeah, that was funny. Sweetie Pilo thought that was funny too. She pointed that out. But yeah, I mean, her to say she doesn't have the energy to lie almost makes me, because we know she is lying. I just realized, like, I think she's almost saying, like, I'm exhausted from lying. You know what I mean? But she just lies and it comes out as, I don't have the energy to lie. And it's like, or are you exhausted?
Yeah, I mean, they say that if you're a liar, you have to have a really good memory because you have to remember all your lies.
Exactly. And you shouldn't have to. And oh my gosh, I think that there's a clip later that pretty much she says something to Ernie in this stream. I have it. She says something about all the days run together, and she like pretty much excusing, like, if she says one thing one day and then it's different another, it's because ever since Summer's been missing, all the days are like a blur type of thing. And I'm just like, she's just got like an excuse why like people are gonna call her out on something.
I mean, to be honest with you, for her to even lie about any of this is suspicious. Anything that has to do with her daughter being missing, where a place where she could be completely honest if she had no involvement, it's just sketchy. And I know everyone's been saying that, but I have to put it out there because I know a lot of you guys have known I've kind of held it all in. So, I'm just putting it out there. It's sketchy. If she can't stop lying in the circumstances surrounding her daughter's disappearance, then maybe there's a reason.
Right. If she can't stop lying and she can't stop excusing why she can't remember, it's like, how do you forget that day? But there was nothing wrong with being fair and hearing out everything. I mean, it hasn't even been a year, and like, although it feels a lot longer and like we've seen a lot of Candace and her shenanigans, it was totally fair of you to be cautious on what you decided to judge as truth or not. And like, we still are kind of like juggling how much does Don know, how much does Candace know? Like, we don't know exactly, and even Grandis, we don't know. And H, I feel like, is the furthest away from knowing things, but I do think he knows stuff.
And I'm starting to believe they know a lot.
Allie and like H's mom, Allie, and his grandparents or grandmothers, or what?
I think, obviously, I don't think they're involved. I believe that they were not involved. But I'm starting, after the JLR secret recording video of him interviewing them, I highly believe that they know more.
Yeah. Yeah. Specifically that part where she was like, before Summer died.
All of it. And I understand why they can't say how they know. They're trying to protect, they want to protect H, which I can understand completely.
Yeah, and you know what? Somebody brought up, who was it? Somebody brought up the fact that even though this has been such a terrible event, hopefully H's parents will use this as like a means to be like, you know what, we need to better our family dynamics, and like we need to be better for H, like I just hope that there can be some positive, like the boys are safe and maybe H will be in a better environment too, or recover. And hello, Marshall Dove.
Let me tell you how that transpired.
So, as you know, that's Jose. This is audio from Justice for All. I don't know if it was his first or whatever. It wasn't his first interview over there, but this was like after something. I don't know.
His first or his sixth?
Yeah. I can't keep track of all the Jose ones, but this was not the first one. He's about to talk about how when Allie called CPS on Candus in September 2020. Remember that?
CPS or the cops?
Or the cops, I'm sorry. Yeah, called 911.
Yeah.
So my problem that I kind of wanted to point out before I play it is the way Jose talks about it. Again, this is September 2020, this 911 call. Jose talks about it all as if he'd been there a while. Like if they just got there, according to Andrew and Allie have said that they got there in September. Just listen to the way like H talks about the whole thing, or Jose talks about the whole thing. Like to me, it seems like he already knows like the dynamics of everything so soon. Just listen.
Candus never refused to give the kids to Allie. That is bullshit. Complete bullshit. Because I was there. Because when the cops told the kids they had to go with their mother, Hunter and True, and her other daughter were like, why? We want to stay here for the weekend. We don't want to go with mom. And the police officer said, you have to go with your mother. And I will never forget the looks on their faces, like if their hearts were ripped out. And True was crying, like, this isn't fair. It's not fair. She cried, but they had to go with their mom, because the cop was there. But
why do you think they didn't want to go with their mom?
They just had fun. Like literally, True and her sister mainly played with Summer. That was like the little baby sister, They just had fun.
Was Hunter there that day?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Hunter even was like, I don't want to go. Why? Why I gotta go? And he's like, Jose, go talk to her. I'm not getting in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I told Hunter. I'm not getting in the middle of that. That's your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And me growing up, you listen to mom. I don't hear that. I'm sorry, buddy. I know you want to, but you got to go.
So Jose's saying that H was saying to him, like, I don't want to go. It's like, you just met this guy.
Honestly, I just have to say this first. I understand why they wouldn't want to go. If they were allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted on Ben Hill Road, they're not going to want to go home. But you're right. Him pretending like him and Hunter were best buddies when he was saying that, or him and H were best buddies when they were saying that. It is weird. He was there, 3 weeks tops at this point?
Yeah. And he was like, Summer was like a sister or something, like talking about the dynamics of like already knowing like that True and all them would treat Summer like their little sister. And it's just like, to me, it just seems like it was just, he was closer to them than anyone would have been at that point.
I want to say, what if I moved out of the town that I grew up in when I was 16, but because of social media and stuff, even though I haven't seen some of my friends in over a decade, I feel close to them because I watch their Facebook, I watch their Instagram, I see their stories. Do you think because we know he was following them on Facebook that he kind of absorbed some of that information from there?
That's a good point.
Because True
Watching them on TikTok, maybe.
Yeah, because True has videos of her and Summer a lot. Pictures, talking about like how she's her baby and stuff like that.
Right. And yeah, CDT, of course, there would be discrepancies between Allie and Candus because they're both covering for them. They wouldn't want to admit it, like as
They
far as
highly
the
contradict each
drinking.
other. Yeah.
And it seems like, which we'll get to, now Allie, I mean, although she has kind of been saying no, nothing went on between H and Candus, but she's still doubling down on, yeah, no, nothing went on between them. But a few weeks ago, Andrew H's father was talking about filing report against Candus because of it.
Yeah, they're telling us to be patient because police were taking their time, but it had been reported, and now I think Andrew still kind of believes it, but Allie does not want to say it happened at all. But her mom says it happened, and I don't know. Again, I'm not going to make Candus out to be a predator. We already know that she's a lot of things. We don't know if she is, but this was put out. But at the same time, Crazy Crime Chick pointed this out that when they started accusing Jose of stuff, he couldn't handle it. So he's out here saying things that can't be verified. But when they bring it up about him, he freaks out when, because of like the whole True thing where he hit on True. He doesn't like being talked about in that aspect, but he's willing to put Candus out on a limb, and for real, we don't know. It's his mom's denying it.
Yeah. I feel like a parent might be in denial about something like that too, though. Like she denied any of that type of stuff going on, even with her daughter.
Yeah, and she says, that she thinks she would know because H would have told her, and I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would tell my mom that.
Yeah. No, exactly. There's definitely going to be some sort of different perspective from a parent and a child. So it's interesting though that the grandparents and even H was like, H's dad Andrew was like, something's not right, But that now the last thing I heard was Andrew said that it's a he said she said thing, so the cops can't do anything with it.
And Crazy Crime Chick is saying, what about True? The fact that Allie, in her interview with Chris McDonough, stated that the reason she cut off, I'm sorry, it wasn't with Chris McDonough, it was with Unmasked. The reason she cut off Jose, I guess after the fact that he had kind of left her to be with Candus, that on a scale of, that there was a Facebook post on her daughter's Facebook that said, on a scale of 1 to 10, what am I to you? And Jose had put that she was his crush. And she said that's kind of where she cut him off. And another thing she had said was, even though Jose said he didn't know about Summer and he had already talked to the CBI about it, she said that he was messaging her, asking her, hey, what's really going on with Summer? And that she was ignoring it, kind of like the way she was like, like she couldn't stand to even look at his messages. And for some reason, I do believe that that would be a reason she cut him off, and that would be a reason she would be grossed out at his messages.
She hooked up with him one time, according to Jose.
All you need is one time. She could have had a big crush on him.
Could have been
and
that
only had the
great.
one opportunity.
Well, and also, what else did maybe I took a screen recording of it. If not, it's over on Andrew's channel. But she said something about only really knowing him for like a week or something.
I've seen Stranger Things when it comes to people hooking up and liking each other and stuff like that. So, I could totally believe it.
True. And yeah, D Irish wants to know about Jose losing his job. How does he lose a job due to rumors online? Is that plausible? I don't know. I've only heard that. I have yet to see actual verification and how it was found out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Don't know.
Sometimes I think when people say stuff like that, that they're just lying. Because I've heard it a few times while being on YouTube, being on these YouTube streets. Oh, I lost my job because of what people said. It's like, did you lose your job or did you quit your job and using that as an excuse?
Yeah, honestly, people can be, and that's the thing is people can be opportunistic, and we don't know if we just don't know. So until there's like proof, I hate that I have to like question people about being truthful about something like that. But like you said, we just don't know.
And I don't know if Jose got paid for his interviews with Justice for All, but I do know that they've been dropping his cash apps, and we know that when there's high interest, like 3,000 people in chat, you will get donations.
Oh yeah, I mean there were people who were really like, I feel so sorry for him, to people who were like, he's playing the victim way too much. This is a red flag.
I see a lot
So
more supporters for him than detractors.
yeah.
I kind of only see us as being the people who don't really believe him, like the creators. Everybody else is kind of, they're happy that he has new information, whether it's all true or not. They're happy he came out, so they take it like that, and we're taking it as like, but he's still lying about these things. So how can we trust all of it? So we're skeptical of him.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've caught him in contradictions and things that just aren't aligning. And even though Chris McDonough hides his cards well, I felt like, in my opinion, I don't know how chat or you feel about it or if you saw it, but I almost felt like he was kind of realizing like I feel like he's lying or something's not adding up or something.
This may make me a bad investigator, but I have yet to watch the interview room with Jose.
There was like it was only 2 hours long, and I think around the hour mark, things were happening quick where I was just like, whoa, 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 what? So it seemed kind of slow at first, in my opinion. And then right around the hour mark, there were things that stood out, and I was like, wait a minute. Something about how Andrew wanted to bring weed down with them or something, and Jose was saying like, I told them I didn't want to get arrested for anything or something like that. And there was just like a lot of contradictions. So it was like, so were you guys bringing drugs down? And it was like, no, like they wanted to or something. It was just very strange and shady sounding, in my opinion.
It sounds completely normal to me. You got to travel with a little bit of weed. There's 11 of you.
Yeah, but there was like kids, and I don't know, like the whole scene and all that. Like, people have speculated if it was some sort of drug run.
And that's a good speculation because everything else does not make sense. Like, you were there for one day, you took all of your stuff, and then you're just like, never mind, let's go back home.
And they unloaded it in a storage unit.
Yes, and they were actually at the storage unit. It makes no sense. But one thing that I will confirm is that it is hard to keep drugs at storage units because they do. Most storage places do run dogs because they know that that's a probability of what people are keeping in there. So I don't know, dude. It doesn't make sense though. It doesn't add up.
It really doesn't.
You have.
Okay, so let me carry on with this call because it's still about the 911 call in September.
Have to go. The cop.
Okay.
The woman I'm looking at now is not the woman.
Okay, never mind. It was over. Here, of course, this is like the second interview or whatever that Justice for All did.
The woman I'm looking at now is not the woman I remember.
Right.
And it's weird, like I don't get it. When I went there, I was the one with problems, I leave and now when I'm presented again, everything's in the reverse. My so-called friend is backstabbing me in the back now. He don't look nothing like the way he used to look.
Did you like how I edited Candus on there? He was like, it's weird.
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen Candus for months now with filters on and stuff like that. But that one is just extra creepy.
Yeah. And with the music, I had to mute it obviously because of copyright because of the music, but like when I have the screen recording, oh my gosh, Cher's she's got the video up, and then did she add that voiceover at the end where it was like, but where is Summer Moon Wells?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it gave me chills. It
I
was
don't think
so
so.
creepy.
But I mean, it is creepy. Like I said, I've seen tons of pictures of her with filters, some clown filters, some this filters. That one just it rubs me the wrong way. Also,
It's almost like
I hate to say it, like a mom even having any type of entertainment when her child is missing,
yeah.
I kind of just want to say no fun for you, but that's not fair either.
You're not allowed filters.
Yeah.
But no, like it almost seemed a bit of like taunting.
At some point, I feel like everything she's doing is taunting.
Mm-hmm. The prank phone call.
Telling people, oh, yeah, you'll be my last interview. I won't be online anymore. And then jumping on another live right after. The next day, another live right after. Doing your own lives. Like, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. It's
But
just
lying doesn't
not
hurt
right. And
metabolism.
didn't you say she deleted that filter live or that video?
Last I saw, yes. She could have hidden them and then they could have been brought back. I haven't checked in a while. But I did check after CDT played them on her live and they were all gone except for 2 beach ones.
Wow. That's crazy. So yeah, if anyone wants to see the other one she had, it's over on CDT, and then this one's on Voices. Yeah, Pink Dahlia said it's just inappropriate given the situation, plain and simple.
I agree.
And it's just kind of like, this is what she's doing while her daughter's missing. Here you go. And yet she deletes it.
Somebody wanted to know if we know yet how Jose and Andrew knew each other.
From what I understand, they met through his somewhat brother, but not blood brother, Jeffy.
Oh, not Jeffy again.
Jeffy.
Jeffy's always asleep when we need him.
I don't know anything about Jeffy, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think it may be a bad thing because he's the one with the U-Haul receipt and he's the one with the house details and he's the one, I guess now, who hooked them up.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He's like the main dude, I guess. Yeah, he was like off screen or whatever when he was showing something like receipts or something.
Yeah. So Jeffy is supposedly like Andrew's brother from another mother, and that's who they were moving down with. The whole clan moving down to move in together. And he's the one who had set up the housing. And as Crazy Crime Chick said, he's the one who called Andrew or texted Andrew and told him that the house had fallen through, even though they were in the same car together.
What the heck? Everything just makes no sense too when you are like, when they do talk about finding out like things falling apart, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And like somebody else said, because they use the excuse, remember that all the hotels around there were too expensive because of the races. So then you drive a state over or a county over, or, like, why did you have to drive all the way back home?
I found that to be weird too, because I thought you had all this money that you hadn't put into this place yet. But at the same time, I think a better excuse would have been all the rooms were taken up as opposed to they were just too expensive. Like, how much could they have marked them up?
Right. And it's like in a few days, it would have gone back down. It just seems like, why would you have unloaded? Like, first off, getting the storage unit, then unloading it.
And then saying that Jose was going to take over payments for it.
And did you hear Jeffy and Andrew are saying Jose wasn't depressed at all on the way down? And his divorce was way before that.
Yeah, and like Crazy says, Jeff said he got his deposit back. Everything was fine from the house days later, but Andrew can't show any receipts because there's a lawsuit just trying to get his money back.
Oh my gosh.
And that was said. I heard it with my own ears. It's just
Hi, analyst.
Pink Dahlia
Yeah,
saying unless it was already a rented unit.
and I still have questions about that picture of Summer sitting outside a U-Haul, even though we realized due to the hair, it couldn't have been them going down in September. But like, who had a U-Haul?
And why?
And why? Who else had a U-Haul around Summer?
Maybe U-Hauls are something they just travel in often. I don't know.
I want to know. And plus, that was a picture that Candus shared.
Yeah, it was.
So it makes me wonder, like, if she just didn't think that we'd wonder, like, where it was from. But yeah, she had Summer's hair was short, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely before, but it's still, I understand the question. Crazy Home Check asked me the same thing. Like, so whose U-Haul was it? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
We all just come to you like, so what do you
I tell Crazy she always asks me like the hardest questions. Like the other day when Naomi Irion's kidnapper was found, I was like, the suspect has been arrested. She's like, who is he? What's his name? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't just tell her something. I have to come with like all the receipts.
Yeah, we need like the real information, not just the headline.
No, only Candus, like I said, a little bit after I left, when I noticed that she got that the new vehicle, and I had messaged her and asked her, you know.
So he was asked if he had talked to anybody after he had left, and he said no, only Candus. Like talking about how, you know, he had seen the new Subaru or whatever.
And where did he see it?
But then today, Allie was saying that Jose got a hold of her after Summer went missing. So I don't know if maybe like, because again, this is just a clip. You guys would have to go and see the whole context. But I'm like thinking about, like, I didn't expect to hear that stuff today when I edited this, you know? So I'm like, was this not aligning with what Allie's saying? And again, if anyone's watching this on review or replay, just comment below if you guys have checked this, because I just am like, is this contradicting what Allie is saying? Because Jose's saying he didn't get a hold of any of them except Candus when he's seen the Subaru.
So when he saw the Subaru, he saw it on Facebook, which kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, that like maybe he knows a lot of things because of Facebook. And then when he was contacting Allie about Summer, it was on Facebook too.
True. And when his son got a hold of him about the FBI, it was through Facebook, I believe.
There you go.
So interesting also, he sees the Subaru and talks to Candus before going off grid too. So in the timeline of when he goes off grid, it wasn't like right after he left Ben Hill Road, which according to him is October 15th, the day after the DV incident, which was October 14th, 2020.
Where'd you get the new vehicle from? Because I knew when I left, she didn't have money to buy that. So, and she was like, Donnie bought it for me. And I was like, what? And I was like, you back with him? And she's like, yeah, I love him. And I'm like, girl, you know what? Just forget it. I'm not even going to say nothing no more.
And I just remember hearing this today, editing this, and he was like, just forget it. And I'm thinking, forget what?
Yeah, he's a little bit, that sounded like a jealous boyfriend thing. Like, just forget it. Why are you back with him? Like, it's her husband.
Yeah, just forget it. Huh?
You know, and she tried to keep talking to me, but I didn't even engage. I was literally just shut my Facebook off, Messenger, and I started to delete everything. I transferred photos from my phone to my email, and I went after that was all done. I just literally the phone was still on, and I just chucked it and literally threw it. And I was like, I'm done.
That was when you was
Like
going through
completely done.
your breakdown.
That was when I decided that it was about I need to fix me.
Right.
Because whatever I tried over there to try to help them, it clearly didn't work. So
I think it's
That is so weird. Hearing it every single time is so weird, and then the fact that they're trying to cut him off from saying it, like I checked the phone. I checked the phone. And he's like trying to get his little story out. But either way, it sounds like a jealous boyfriend thing. Obviously, he may or may not have hooked up with Candus, but according to Allie, he was kind of like her Captain Save-A-Ho, and he would call her his Harley Quinn, and he sounds like I know. And if you look at Candace's TikToks from back then, she would put on a Harley Quinn filter.
I
which
love
is-
Harley Quinn, but now I'm never gonna see the character the same now.
I don't do Marvel movies, so I'm gonna have to Google it.
She's the Joker's like girlfriend,
which is weird. That's weird.
Yeah. She's crazy. Like she's demented.
So is he the Joker?
Whoa.
If she's Harley Quinn?
Yeah, I mean,
just saying.
Creepy. But yeah, he definitely did sound jealous. It seemed as though chat was agreeing there. That just sounded very strange.
And why did he have to check his phone? Like it was that serious that she took her own husband back, that he had to get off of Facebook. He had to delete his Facebook. He had to set it to all to delete. He had to transfer all of his pictures out of his phone so he could throw his phone away. That made no sense.
Why? So he did chuck it.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Oh my gosh.
Must have been an Android, because I could never with an iPhone.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, okay, so here's another clip, and then I edited on top Andrew Hiltz and Allie on Prayer Garden's channel. If you guys ever want to check it out, the full stream will be over there. And it's just them proving their location was in September at Ben Hill Road, well, Tennessee. So he just brought, proof pretty much.
He brought the receipts.
And they're going to ask Jose about it in this clip, like about, are you sure about the timeline? And he pretty much, you'll hear.
Allie and Andrew are saying that you guys went there in like late August. Is that correct? ICU?
Or September, sometime in that time frame.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That's not my memory. My memory was much sooner than that.
Okay. And
much earlier.
So he says, that's not my memory. My memory is much sooner than that. So he's still denying, even though this has been shown.
What date did it say?
It
Crazy
said
thing.
September, I believe, 18th, or I couldn't make it out. It's if you guys pause it, like at a different part than this, you can get like a clearer picture. But it says like September. I don't know.
Because if it's 18th, it does work with what he had said. Remember, he had said something about the kids going to school or missing school or something like that. We were trying to figure out if it was a Friday or a Saturday. It would cooperate with what he was saying beforehand.
Okay, Crazy said 18th.
And 18th was a Friday.
So this is legitimate. As far as Andrew saying this is when they were there. And this is a picture of a cat that apparently he gave to H, who gave it to Summer, from my understanding.
Yep.
And the picture, like when you guys, in case you don't know, when you take a picture, you can check the details on it, and sure enough, date and location.
And it's
And yet
showing
Jose's over here saying wasn't September, it was much earlier.
right.
And his memory isn't September that they went down there.
Yeah. I find it interesting that people had asked Candus about the cat, and she said that she still had the cat, and then it was a gray cat that she was saying she still had.
And this is an orange-ish cat,
It's
right?
Tabby, yeah.
So she doesn't even know what cat, or she lied.
Yeah. And
got it.
Yeah.
Than that, because if I was there in September and I left in August, that means I'm only there 1 month. There's no way, because I was there a month with just.
I love how he's like arguing with himself. He's like, so if you're saying that that was September and we left in August or whatever, or I left in October, then that was only 1 month. There's no way. And it's like, yeah, that's what we're saying. There's no way.
No
like,
way, Jose.
yeah, he's like arguing with himself. Like, there is no way. It's like, you said 6 months when you first came out. Then this interview follows up after Andrew and them are proving him wrong. Like, nope, it was September. And then he's still following it up with, there's no way that it was September.
So Crazy Crime Chick is letting us know that Jose left on the 15th per his bank statement. So from the 18th to the 15th, I'll do the math right now, but it definitely doesn't sound like he definitely sounds like he has more than a month's worth of information.
Right. And it's not even, it's like 3 weeks and some odd days or something from September, whatever to whatever. Yep, Jose, 3 weeks, 6 days. And then, but he came out saying 6 months he was there and that it was cold and it was definitely February, March. So again, I know everyone's kind of like, yeah, we already know there's like discrepancy with the timeline, but I just wanted to show like here he is like being confronted like with the receipts pretty much, and he's doubling down still, like there's no way. So as much as I do believe, like I said, the stuff about the living conditions and the way the children were treated and certain things, like I do believe for sure. It's just unfortunate that it's like, why is this another person who's not being upfront with us?
3 weeks and 5 days or 6 days. It's definitely not 6 months. And that's a big thing to lie about. People have said that he took it back, but I haven't heard him say that he was wrong.
No, all I heard was when he was first told like that they were saying a different date, he was like, "Oh, okay." And then when he realized that they were like really doubling down, then all of a sudden he's like he got like defensive about it or something.
I don't know why, but the Shakespeare quote came to my mind. He goes, "I me, sad hours seem long." Maybe it was just a really long 3 weeks.
Yeah, literally. Well, living the way that it sounds like they were, I guess that could feel like 6 months maybe, but he also said that he spent at least a month with Don. Remember? He said, I lived there with Don for like a month. And all the rest of the time, Don was in Utah with Josie.
Right, which is another thing that Crazy Crime Chick did a little deep dive on the other day when he was saying that all the kids only had cupcakes on their birthday. The only kid that had a birthday while he was supposed to have been there was Josie, who was with his dad in Utah.
Oh my gosh. Well, if anyone, I don't know how they can't see these red flags about Jose, but I hope that this little discussion maybe opens some more eyes. Like, and I'm not saying that anything is connected to June 15th, but we do have to wonder why the timeline is off, you know? Like, is there a possibility that he went back? You know what I mean?
I definitely think there's a possibility he could have gone back, for sure.
because we have nothing pretty much proving that he was in Alaska or the Philippines or wherever else he's been placed. You know what I mean? Like, until I'm like shown it, like I'm not putting it as like my top theory, but I'm not gonna discount the idea that what was this man's whereabouts all throughout 2021. Like he sounds like he's like almost jealous of Candus about Don or whatever. Like, is he jealous of Don for other reasons? Like, I don't know.
So somebody in chat asked, do we know when Don came back from Utah? And we don't know, but we do know when that 911 call was for the protection order thing. And that was 3 days before Jose left, right?
The DV situation, yeah, with him being arrested, that was October 14th. And then Jose is claiming he left and has, I guess, have shown bank receipts to prove that he actually did leave October 15th, the next day.
So my question is, how long could they have actually hung out before they went off on each other? Which I don't think they could have. I don't know. As a woman that's married, I don't know how long I could keep my boyfriend there with my husband.
Yeah, it might be a little tricky and not so peaceful. But I don't know. Apparently Don had somebody upstairs while Candus was downstairs and he was hooking up with her. So who knows,
Ugh, that's the ick. And somebody else asked, who in this whole saga is been truthful? Is there any adult that has remained truthful? And we cover other cases, and in the Chris Watts case, it's always like, oh, Anthony Brown or Tony Husky. They were the ones that didn't lie. In this case, I can't say there has been one adult who has been truthful the entire time.
It's almost like sick. Yeah.
It's got to be the drug use, right? That they just can't keep it together or keep it right.
I'm concerned also, and while I don't know the exact level of involvement, it just seems like everyone knows Allie.
Tickles also says Jose has now confirmed that he was not there at any birthdays, and he said it on Chris McDonough.
So he's retracted or changed stories on that element.
Is this something else he saw on Facebook? Like he's just watching them, stalking them?
The children's pictures.
The argument was October 14th. Protective order was October 15th, and October 19th, Candus went back to dismiss the protection order.
Interesting. And I believe Don spent a total of 7 days in jail for all that. So was he, what was he saying over the phone to Candus obviously he was trying to fix things if he bought her a car.
Yeah, for sure. It's the Kobe Bryant ring thing.
Yeah.
And I guess...
And Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. I guess this all... Sometimes I just want to bring it back to how does this all correlate with Summer being gone? And it brings forth the disruption, or like the dismay that was their household, right?
Right.
Is that the right word?
And it just is like it almost opens the door for way more possibilities in a way, because if it's true that both Candus and Don would bring home people, townies, because Allie has said that Candus met someone at a gas station and brought him home.
Yeah, she did say that.
So, and we know about this woman that Don apparently was bringing home. So if that was just that free for outsiders to be around kids, it adds so many different layers to things.
It adds so many,
did somebody see these kids and then went back? You know what I mean?
And let's just say that Summer was kidnapped. It could have been by any of these people that could obviously see that there was a disruption in this household and a room for a place where something... they could have seen that it would have been easy to do something nefarious like that.
Right. Like, oh man, these parents are usually passed out by this time in the night, or,
Leaving the
they
kids to play
sleep
outside
in.
while they're inside doing their thing.
Yeah. And Alex Erickson, I agree. She said, I can't imagine the life Summer lived. I mean, even hearing her in the background of that 911 call from October 14th, it was like, oh my gosh, she's like right up in like the scene.
You could hear her kind of like shouting a little bit.
Yeah, and CDT said they also could be involved in her disappearance or have knowledge, allegedly, maybe, possibly. We don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, one of those people, one of those randos that came up to the house could have put it into their CD plan, you know? And another thing that Jose has said that could be debunked if you believe Allie was he was saying Summer was very vocal and that Summer could express herself really well. The first question I asked Allie was Summer vocal? And she said no, that Summer couldn't really talk. And I believe that. I had a daughter that I raised myself and who had speech issues. So I know that it could very well happen. And she was saying that she could say things like Aunt Allie and stuff like that, but that she couldn't really speak. So why would he say that if it wasn't true?
Yeah, there really has been a lot of talk of her being nonverbal, possibly, which is sad because that leads to people knowing that it's going to be hard for this child to speak up if she needed to,
Exactly. And nonverbal doesn't exactly mean mute. She could say, you know, children that are nonverbal can say some things. Like my daughter used to say, "What's that? What's that?" But she couldn't really speak her mind, but she could say little sentences and stuff. And there is a video where you hear someone say, "Mommy, what is that?" But there's another video of her singing, and she's singing complete gibberish.
Yeah. It's definitely a possibility for sure. I just seen everyone kind of agreeing with Main Man's comment, so I wanted to pull it up quick. I don't think Don bought that car. I think that car was gifted to him from the cartel for driving it back over the border filled with a large amount of drugs, but that's just my opinion. His trips to Mexico are suspicious.
Yes. They have shown, though, that the car was in his dad's name, though, right?
That I do not know, but that's interesting. Yeah, my consensus of Jose is the main questions that I want real answers to, I don't trust his answers to. And then all the fluff that he's thrown in, I know to be true because it's been like repeated over and over by other people. But it just seems like Jose was like there and it just sounds believable, Although some of it I felt was.
Oop, it wouldn't be alive if somebody didn't kick themselves off. But CDT says, I don't trust most of what Jose says. And I agree. Neither do I.
I'm back. Yeah, I mean, there's like a level that I believe. You know what I mean? Hold on, give me a second. I always swipe this Mac. It's very touchy.
Oh, yeah. I know that. While
I'm
you do
like,
that,
oh,
I'm going to be back. Just give me 1 minute.
no problem. And thanks, everyone. While I pull this up, I just want to thank everyone again for being here. I have a really good chat tonight. So thanks again. Let me find where we were. Okay, we saw this. No. All right, let me wait. Let me see where we're at.
There in September and I left in August. That means I'm only there 1 month. There's no way, because I was there a month with just them, and then Donnie came and I almost did a full month with him there as well.
So I'm just like realizing he said he was there. He did a month with them and then he was there with Donnie and almost did a month with him, which is totally different than what he said in his first interview. He said he did it. He lived there with Donnie for a month. And then he said he was there for 6 months. This is just unbelievable, guys. Why do you think, Anne, just curious, why you think that that's not the real Jose? I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just curious. Yeah, and what about the red truck Jose said he saw, but yet Allie has been there for over a year and never saw this red truck? Yeah, she said that today. Like, didn't know anything about a red truck. And yet Jose's over here saying, yeah, Don would take a red truck. But that's the other thing is, he said Don would take the red truck, but only on certain occasions when he did long distance trips or something, right?
And Jody Sue's never seen the truck.
Oh. But then how can Jose know that he only takes the red truck every now and then and only for long distance work trips? But he only knew Jose for like 3 weeks. Like he just said he lived with Don for like 3 weeks. After saying he spent a whole month with Don in his other interview. But now
I really think it's a figment
that he knows when Don would take a red truck every now and then.
I really do think it's a figment of his imagination.
Of Jose's?
Absolutely.
What do you know, and what does chat know? And I don't mean to sound gossipy, but I need to know about his time spent in a mental facility, which there's nothing wrong with seeking mental health help.
I don't know anything, but I do know that some people need a grippy sock vacation.
Sometimes. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no shame in it, but I'm just curious, like, if we're going to talk about figments of imagination and he's over here saying that he told Candus, forget it then, after he's seen that she was back with Don, I'm kind of confused at, like, he said that he never hooked up with Candus, you know?
Yeah. And Anne is saying, the whole thing about he didn't know about Summer missing, but he calls Grandis, that they try to say that it could have something to do with Justice for All prepping him for the live. But also, I want to add that he says that he didn't know about Summer, but he also says he spoke with the TBI, and Allie says he was messaging her about Summer. So, which is it?
Yeah, which is it? And it looks like I'm Just Me said Jose said he was in a mental ward before going to Tennessee, which was nothing against it. I just am trying to lay out like what this background is of mental issues, pretty much.
Yes, CDT.
What'd she say?
She said, wait, Allie was messaging Jose. I'm sorry. Allie said Jose was messaging her about Summer. Allie said on this live that Jose was messaging her saying, what's really going on with Summer?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I got to play these clips because I got those clips to play too, and they're interesting. And
Okay.
it's pretty contradictive of everything Jose's saying.
So that puts me at 2 months at least right there.
Okay.
I know for sure. I
don't have. Oh, and look at that. There's even location on it too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just want to. Everybody wants to see proof of shit. But look, there's even location in the exact spot we were.
I love the receipts, though. Gotta love it.
White House with blue shutters.
Okay, so at this part on Justice for All, Jose has just said that Summer wandered off 2 separate times. One of the times was at a White House with blue shutters. So I do feel like, although I don't believe she wandered off like on her own. I just think that in order to officially mark that off of all the possibilities, it needs to be explored. And from what I'm seeing, most people are pretty much saying like they would have found clothing or some sort of fragment of her if she did wander off at this point. But I just feel like, again, here's a story of Jose saying, yep, she did it on 2 separate occasions. This is where it happened. And then today, which I have the clip of, Allie is saying on Andrew's channel, no, Summer maybe would go to the end of the driveway. That was it.
About a half a mile down the road, they found her behind that house.
The blue shutters or the blue roof?
He said white house with blue shutters.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So with the distance that you just said, I mean, that is a pretty far distance.
Yeah.
And that would shed a whole nother light on things. I mean, that's a far distance.
I thought he was saying a house.
Well,
he said.
Well, there is that one, Justin, so there's like a little path. If like if you go downhill, then it's like down this little path.
Yes, that one. She was at that one. She was around there, but he said that these guys were like meth heads.
Oh my God.
He said he said they lived really close to this place. He said they were very big meth heads, and that Don had got into it with them before.
So that was just the other location that Jose is claiming where Summer wandered off to, which again, Candus and Don themselves have said no, that she never would wander off and leave the property. Allie's saying no. Jose, for some reason, is saying yes and has like pushed it to the extent of like even giving locations, which, you know, like if he was only there for this short amount of time, I don't know, then she would have wandered off twice in that short amount of time.
And not to be rude, but this would constitute them her mom actually having to look for her, which at this point I don't believe is possible. Like what I'm saying is Summer wasn't lost. She was just, according to Jose, Summer wasn't lost. She had just wandered off, which would have meant Summer would have came home at some point, which means Candus at some point noticed she was missing and they went to go look for her, which I don't believe anymore.
Yeah, especially if it was after 5 p.m., which everyone is saying at that point for sure Candus is drinking.
Exactly.
And then another time she was down at the road. Now, I've been on Ben Hill Road. There's no traffic on it. Like the only way you're going on Ben Hill Road is if you live there, you're visiting, and nobody visits anybody anymore.
And yes.
So somebody said that the screen was at 4.
CT, Jose did say that. Remember that one part where he described how he'd seen Don spanking Summer going up the driveway, and if that's a lie, it is another weird level.
Very true.
Like it just takes it to another weird level for sure. Yeah, the analysts definitely. They are all trying to swing at Candus. If she's in jail, they'd all speak, in my opinion. Well, she's been very careful not to get in jail, pretty much. But here is Ernie bringing up the scream on another panel, pretty much another live stream, alternative to the one that we played earlier.
30, and the law will come at 6 or 6:30, right?
You know what? I couldn't even remember exactly where that all happened because there's been so many days that have been missing. Because I sit back and I wonder what if about this, what if about that, and
what do you mean?
all the what ifs.
What do you mean days missing? How many days was missing?
No, I mean like since summer's been gone, man. Like my days all run together now. They're all concurrent. They all run together.
Right.
So
when Doc, I've got a couple questions actually. When Doc,
So she was asked about the scream and what time and when did it align with the law enforcement showing up. And she's like, she doesn't want to answer the question and uses the excuse of, her days run together, this and that. And it's like, I feel like she doesn't want to commit to yes or no about the scream anymore because it's already all over the place.
Right, because her saying a time would only add to Jody's story or take away from it, and she probably doesn't know. Another thing I want to mention is Candus is always smoking, which leads me to believe she didn't use puff bars unless she was with somebody who smoked vapes.
H?
Yeah. Like, when have we ever seen her use a vape?
Never.
Never. And Crazy is saying Candus is very careful with what she says. Absolutely, she is, and
Yeah.
she has always been very careful. And she said it on Cracking Cases. She just wants to stick to her script because she doesn't want to mess up.
Yeah, and I feel like her mom is very much that way also. Almost seem I've
Calculated.
almost seen the way Candus was in her earlier interviews. It looks very similar to the way her mother was about Rose.
Yep.
Like the way that they just spoke. I don't know.
Very matter of fact.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Candace studied her mom's old videos or something. It's very weird, but the analyst said probably Candace's scream, probably why she didn't hear it. It was hers.
Yeah, I've totally thought of that too.
Very possible.
Don came home, did he go to the shed first thing, or did he come straight up the alley or the driveway? What's going on?
I couldn't answer that. I have no idea.
I thought that was strange that she didn't know if Don went to the shed or not.
Exactly, especially because Don has said he went to the shed first, and that should be something she already knows. I would be listening to everything everybody said, but that's just me.
And plus, you would already know, like, if your husband was just being around your significant other talking about the events, like, what your husband was doing that day, probably.
I mean, there's probably, 150 people in here that all know that Dawn went to the shed first. And then you ask her mom, and she's like, I don't know. I can't tell you.
Yeah. And I can't help but, like, laugh at, like, Ernie when he's like, whoa, what's going on?
I'm not going to lie to you, Ernie knows how to ask her questions.
100%.
Did you hear when he asked her, he said, so who's Allie? And she's like, you know exactly who Allie is. You were just on a freaking panel with her. And he was like, oh, yeah. But, he was trying to play dumb, which you kind of have to do to get stuff out of her. But it's like Benny said, Stonewall Jackson. That's just her new name.
He, like, gives it his own, like, spin, too. Like, I feel like he flirty a little bit with her, and it's like you said, it would eventually, if Ernie wasn't in jail, it would actually end up like the Stonewall incident, like you said, and she's just, and Grandis too.
Yeah, I think, I think at some point Ernie's going to get fed up with being Stonewall too.
He's in jail right now, right?
I do.
What is he in, like, for how long?
Well, it's possession of stolen property. That usually isn't a very long. It's usually till court, and then they're let out.
Did anyone ever find out what's stolen property? I'm just curious if anyone in chat even knows.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
always asking, like, people in Facebook groups, like, for, like, if somebody posted this video, I'd be like, does anyone know why he got arrested? Sorry, just nosy.
Yeah, when people are like, you're really good at investigating, I'm like, yeah, I'm just nosy.
I feel like it's better just to say it than to act like you're not. I don't know. But hang on, let me continue this.
I wasn't paying attention to what anybody else was doing. The only thing I was paying attention to was finding my daughter.
Right, right. Like any mother would do. They would always, want to. So there was no scream, right? You've already said that.
Man, my phone is blowing the fuck up.
She doesn't want to answer.
Straight avoided the question.
Candus, there was no scream, was there?
I don't know.
You don't know if it was somebody screamed it?
Because, like, on her side of the mountain, you can hear shit, like, that you can't hear on my side.
Okay.
So yeah, like totally not committing to yes or no. The heck is up with that?
I don't know. And another thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way about this is when I first started getting messages from, because Candus and I talked, and then we also had like a third party friend that would kind of link us up. The first stuff that Candus would send to me was about Jackie Dobbs, who was the transient neighbor. And it was like, investigate him, try to find out stuff about him. And then when I talked to Candus, I brought up Jackie Dobbs, and she was kind of like, yeah, I don't know nothing. Like, I don't know nothing about him. And in this interview, she kind of makes it seem like he's been on her suspect list. He's on her radar list. So why wouldn't she tell somebody who was investigating that? Like,
whoa.
I feel like she's only using it now as like a detractor.
And I feel like she allowed that to take place with Jody Sue for a while too. Like she let all of us be like, who is Jody Sue? This and that. And then we realized like, oh, I don't think she's really that. Like, I don't think there's that much sketchiness to Jody Sue. Like, I know that, her link to Andy is questionable and Andy's like his own character, but I almost feel like, yeah, it was just, people were pointed in that direction of like suspicion. Even Ernie was like being pointed at as like, where was he on June 15th,
Lots of people that are in that area, they've said like, well, maybe they're involved. And I will say that Candus, I don't know if it's because of the scream or what have you, but Candus acted like Jody was an anonymous person. Like she sent me all of this information about Jackie Dobbs, and it was Jackie and Jody Sue who had an interaction. And she never, ever would tell me who it was. Just the neighbor. She kept Jody anonymous until Jody came out herself.
Strange.
And I still find it very strange.
I don't know. I almost felt like Don and Jody aligned with certain things too. Like they were in agreement on things.
I still to this day think maybe she was, I mean, this is alleged. Maybe she was doing, like, you know how they said she was taking a run? Maybe she was out doing a run, like they say that they got their drugs from Andy allegedly. Maybe she was over there trying to get some while Summer disappeared or while something happened to Summer.
I mean, yeah, anything's possible for sure. At one point, they talk about how Benny heard Candus say that law enforcement told her that they know she left the area twice that day because of her phone pinging at a tower.
Yeah, I heard that. And she says she left in the car twice. To go
All
look for
right.
someone.
We'll get to that. Hold on.
Okay.
It's okay? Yeah.
So this little bit actually is just a small little reclip that I had on my channel of like one of the prayer vigils, because I was just trying to, everyone says that Tim Mullen met them at the prayer vigil. I realized he didn't belong to the church. And how do we really know that that's when they met?
Yeah, and we don't.
Like, I just feel like there's a possibility that, like, what if they knew Tim prior to Summer going missing and they were just said for some reason, like, we're just gonna say that we met at the prayer vigil, because at one point, I think somebody asked Candus and she like didn't give a I think it was the glare how they met and she wouldn't give a clear answer. She was just like, I don't know him, but like never answered like how they met.
But Donnie knows him.
Did he know him before though?
I don't know. I felt that was like, I want to say it was funny. She's like, I don't know him, but my husband knows him. Like,
oh yeah.
What?
Pass him off to Don, who's in jail and can't defend himself or speak his side.
It's not funny.
I mean, it's like I guess we see it though.
And Crazy Crime Chick said, "What time does Jody Sue say she heard the scream again?" And it was 5:30, right?
I thought it was 4:30, but I could be wrong, and I'm sure chat knows.
Oh boy.
So let me just play this again, and it's pretty much I slowed it down, but some of it doesn't have sound. So I've realized I'm just gonna leave it playing and play the audio clips that I have on my phone. 3 of them are Benny, and then the rest is the interview today between Andrew and Allie. So let me play this first. And I just wanted to point out how creepy it was, the way that like Tim Mullen approaches them at this prayer vigil. I just think it's like very bizarre, and it makes me wonder if this was like their first meeting or I don't know. And I'm seeing 4:30 for the scream in case anyone's not looking at chat.
Why don't we get the family and let's just pray for them? Hey, Candus. Candus, we're going to pray with you and Dawn in a... Just saying.
Believe me, I lose it all the time.
And the devil's trying to attack anyway. But God is in control of this. Whether we don't see it or...
That was an evil look.
Yeah, and I cut it off too. She like stares for like I don't know, it was like way too long, like just like staring at him like doing the prayer. And then here Tim just like sneaks over, like when they said that they were going to gather to pray, he just like comes over out of nowhere and just like puts his hands on like both of them. It's just like I don't know, like it could be completely nothing, but I just find it strange.
Yeah, it could be what you do in prayer.
Yeah, I guess so. I've never had anyone pray with their like hand on my shoulder though, but
Went to the police station and they told her, hey, we know you left that hill 2 times. She swears up and down she didn't. But the police know different. They told her, we saw you leave the hill twice by yourself.
so apparently, could you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently, they told Candus they know that she left, and here Benny is saying that she swears that she didn't leave twice. So that just goes to show that like even when stuff is thrown in her face of we know you left, we have your ping twice. And again, this is hearsay, but it could be true, you know what I mean? She's doubling down on like saying like no, I didn't leave twice, like even to the law enforcement in this scenario. So is that the length that she will take to stick to her story, you know? It's
I
a little
mean,
troubling.
Yeah, she's doubling down on something that even if police are actually saying that she left twice and she's sticking to her one story, why, what's making her call the police liars? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's like if this is true, this little scenario, and they told her that we know for a fact that you left twice, and she's swearing up and down that she didn't, it's like, whoa, then everything that she's been saying, like just doubling down, like she went down to the basement, and the other day when she was talking to the glare and she was like, I don't know. It's like, oh my God, like she'll never change like her story. Like this is what it is. And even if it's thrown in her face, which is why today Allie said that they can't discuss the timeline. That is like a main evidence against Candus, I feel, because they're hiding the 911 call from the parents on June 15th for a reason. And
3 hours
apparently
long.
no one can talk about the timeline because obviously they're using it against her.
And those 3 hours I think would be somewhere between 2:30 when they dropped off H, 3:30, 4:30 when the scream was, and then up to 5:30 when she started looking for Summer, right?
Yeah, because apparently before they called 911, they looked for her themselves, and law enforcement says that, remember?
Yeah, and I said earlier, like, what time was the scream? 5:30. I do know. I just sometimes there's a lot of details, but I don't want it to make it seem as if I don't know the timeline. I do
No,
know, but
no, yeah, I know. We know you do.
I don't want people to think that I'm just over here like, I don't know.
No, I think the scream allegedly was at 4:30. I don't know how a scream can be discredited.
Yeah, especially if they weren't there to hear it. So CDT says she has a question.
Okay.
Spit it.
Let me play this little clip while we wait for her question. It's only 40 seconds.
Yes, because there was times when Granny Candus, they were going to go up there to Wisconsin and they were going to get a ground density tester to go across that property. She called me in a hurry. She was like, "Hey, you got to hurry up and do a video and get Ollie Lightning them not to go to Wisconsin." And I was like, "Okay." And I sat there and thought about it for a minute. I was like, "Hell no, I'm not doing that. Why does this old lady want me to stop this woman from going to Wisconsin and try to help find her daughter?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was different than what was going to happen when they came to Tennessee. But they didn't talk about.
So he's alleging that Molly Golightly, when they said they were going to go to Wisconsin and try to find Rose, that Grandis went to Benny and was saying, like, do a live stream, against that. And he was like, red flag, like, why would I do that? So I found that interesting if that's true.
Yeah, especially, I mean, saying that they were going out there to do a ground density test is kind of a big story to lie about. So
Right.
CDT says they dropped off H allegedly at 2:30. How far is H's house to where the milk video was taken around 3:09 p.m.? I know people have found the yellow sign marker. Yeah, the yellow sign marker is by their house. Insanely Confused says he lives in Kingsport, but I don't know exactly how far it is. I have friends that do know, so I could somebody get that bot in chat. I could ask right now.
I want to say that they found out the sign was, I think, like 5 minutes from their house or something, maybe even sooner. Somebody definitely mapped that down, though. Let me play some more.
From the rest of them, yes, because there was times when Granny Candus, they were going to go up there to Wisconsin and they were going to get a ground density tester to go across that property. She called me in a hurry. She was like, "Hey, you got to hurry up and do a video."
Oh, wait.
Back benders, and he would take off.
Hold on.
That dude is a sexual deviant. Let me tell you what. That dude is a sexual deviant. Let me tell you what. He doesn't just drive to Knoxville and try to find crack. And he's got crack dealers all in his phone. What does he do when he's out there? All kinds of sexual deviism. So if he doesn't have a hooker with him, what is he doing? Smoking crack, looking at pornography from his phone. So all of that stuff is in that phone. It's on your computer. You know Dunn is involved in the underworld with the drugs and the people that go with the drugs. I mean, all of that is in your computer now. So I would say that in order to clear yourself, you would have to go there and just say, man, look, this is the situation. Because I'm going to tell you what, she don't want to take the phone up there. And I don't know why she wouldn't. Especially when 2 days ago, the sheriff just got through saying they're being uncooperative. So if she knows her husband didn't have anything to do with it, that's what you do. You just rush up there like, Sheriff Lawson, here's Donnie's phone. Please, I'm trying to be cooperative. Run through it, please. And you would load up every single device you have. According to Candus.
So, I mean, to call him a sexual deviant is,
That's big of him to say, or at least he knows, and he's not denying it. But he's basically saying that he has sexual deviancy, some type of, what is it? Like he has an addictive, he has a problem. If he's not with hookers, he's on his phone, so on and so forth. Then he's telling this guy, now it's on your computer. So, yeah.
His perversions are now on Tim Mullen's computer. So,
which would be recorded videos, right? Because porn you stream off of websites. So he's trying to say he has videos, I mean, right?
He is something that he's trying to say is a bit red flaggish to have probably on your hard drive. I don't know if that's what he's saying, but I mean, if it's just searches on Pornhub, then that's totally legal. You know what I mean? I'm not sure.
Right. It wouldn't be something to tell somebody like, now it's on your computer. So I asked Tia Dash, who is with the Decipher podcast, and she's the person who I know did their mappings like point by point. And she says that from Allie's house to Candus's house, it's 21 minutes, 13.3 miles. And Tia Dash is right there. And that sign, they were right near Summer's house when they did that video. I'm sure she'll send me a message and tell me how close. But for CDT's question, it's 21 minutes away. So if they dropped off H at 2:30, they would have been back at the house about no more than 3 o'clock. But that picture was taken at 3:09.
Right.
Which is still, she's bad with time. She might have just said they dropped him off at a certain time. It was a little bit later, but he still would have had time to go to his appointment and stuff like that.
Right. And that's brought up. So on Prayer Garden, I guess last night, Allie said the appointment again, which remember you and CDT and I think in our group chat talked about how Andrew H's father brought up the doctor's appointment, and then you guys brought up a screenshot that you guys had taken early on in the investigation where it was noted that there was a doctor's appointment mentioned for H very early on, but then it just, no one ever mentioned it again after they went on Chris M.
I don't know if that was between us, but I have heard the same thing, that it was mentioned very early on. And then we just kind of never heard about it again. And then they made sure to ask Allie again the other day, and his girlfriend and her mom took him to the appointment.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting because as I play these clips, they get to that mention of the doctor's appointment and Allie's confused by it.
So Tia Dash says that they were about 9 minutes away from their home at that 309 picture.
Interesting. Now, is that going to the house? And that's where that sign is because they're headed to the house? Or is that sign there because they're leaving the house? You know, like which side of the road does it mean?
I think it's headed towards the house because they actually, the Decipher podcast is so on it that we've gone through maps on the computer. It's on the drive to their house.
Okay.
Yeah, going towards Summer's home from Kingsport. They've literally like put me on the street and gone through maps like click by click by click, and you can see the sign.
Love it. I love the web sleuthing, and Tia and them, they do a really good job. So today, Andrew's channel, if someone could link in chat, I'm going to tag like all the channels and link them in chat, but I try to at least mention them verbally too. So this was all done today. You can watch the full stream over on Andrew Hiltz with an S. And these were the interesting parts that I gathered from it. So there's just a few, some clips.
Popped up. Now, do you have any reasons to suspect S.A. Candus and our son? No. Okay. Candus put somewhere safe away from Don. I don't know. I think it's more like Don's safe away from Candus from what you're telling me.
It's more likely Don's in a safe place from Candus because Don's in jail.
Yeah. Who always would start the fights between them?
I think most of them was Candus.
All right.
And I think it was drunk and out.
Listen, hang on. A question. Did Don and or Jose say anything, any appropriate things to your eldest, as in your daughter?
Jose did.
Would you now? Would you like to clarify of what you remember some of those things being?
I remember that day perfectly. When my daughter told me I was at work. I was working in layaway. My phone goes off, and True sent me a message saying that Jose was creeping her out and he gave her the creeps. I asked her why. She said because on this thing, it was some kind of messenger game or whatever. I want you to send one of my team, and he told her his crush.
Mm-hmm.
So here she is, Amanda, telling that Jose story, 1 to 10. You know, what crush are you or whatever?
What am I to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was 14 at the time, I believe. Either 13 or 14.
So that's, again, she's saying that's why she didn't talk to Jose again.
Which means that she may have talked to him even after she had left him at Candus's house.
Perhaps.
Because she's saying she cut Candus off because of Jose, but she doesn't say she cut off Jose because of Candus. She says she cut him off because of this. So
right. Have you ever seen this post on her Facebook, Truce?
No, but Crazy asked me to get it, and I'm like, I didn't ask for it. True has a Facebook page, but you know, it's mostly locked up.
Right.
Whatever. I want you to send one of my team, and he told her his crush.
Mm-hmm. Did Candus ever knock out Don?
I don't know.
Apparently this necklace that I just asked you about.
Okay, so that was the end of the first one. So ultimately, Allie still denies SA between Candus and Hunter today. And apparently Candus, according to Allie, would start all the fights, well, majority of the fights with Donnie.
I can actually see that happening, but, you know, We don't know.
Right. This is Allie's perspective again.
Asked this 1,000 times, but the reasoning for your did their fights ever get physical? Yes. All right. The reasoning for you and Candus parting ways. There's a lot of reasons. How about the main reason of why you had to send the cops to go get the kids? I'm a 0 out of 10. Now, what caused that fight?
She wouldn't bring the kids home. What caused that fight? Well, let's see. I had money come up missing, and let's see. Her mother found out she was sleeping with Jose.
Ooh. No way.
Yeah, her mama got her, like, you can look right to the fucking kitchen floor, and there she was sleeping right with him.
Holy shit. Did you ever witness Candus being loving towards Summer and the boys?
No.
So she wasn't a loving mother?
Hell no.
All right, another question. Did Summer ever explore the woods with the boys?
Yes.
Did she ever go out and, what's the word? Did she ever go out and, I can't remember what I was going to say, by herself to explore?
Yes. No, she never left the property.
No, I'm saying, did she ever go out and explore the woods by herself, like without her brothers?
No.
All right.
Summer would not go to work by herself.
All right. Who were you? Dumb question. Who were you sleeping with on June 15th of 05?
Okay, that was a joke, that last little part, so it doesn't matter. But
I was like, what?
And if you watch the full live stream, like, they said it as a joke in the chat because everyone was asking her so many questions. So somebody randomly was like, so who were you sleeping with in 05? And then all of a sudden she was like, you, like, talking to Andrew, and he was like, wait, what? And then like, how did we both forget that we were banging each other or something like that?
They have an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, almost like can't look away when I was watching today, but yeah.
I mean, I almost feel like they get along. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, I almost feel like they get along more than Candus and Dawn.
Definitely.
Anywhere else Candus was sleeping with? Was there anyone else Candus was sleeping with other than Jose?
Sorry. No, she was trying to pick up some dude on the internet.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
She was checking him.
And again, if she was trying to pick up some dude on the internet, and again, we don't know how much of all this is true, but say it is, then it just brings on a whole different like level of like unsafety, well, not safe conditions around children,
right?
Strangers in and out.
Yeah, randos. I do want to throw in again that not again, but I do want to throw in that Allie also said that Candus too had a crush on Jose.
Yeah. She doubles down on it too in some of this, where she's like, yeah, there was like an argument between Candus and Candus because of him. Again, coming from Allie.
I think he was from Johnson City, maybe.
Oh shit.
And like some of these details, because he's just reading his chat, Andrew's just reading his chat. So some of the details that Ellie's giving him is like you could tell it's the first time Andrew's hearing it, and he's just like, oh shit.
I even some of it still like catches me off guard, not gonna lie. So I'm sure like he knows these people,
Yeah, and it's like, I hope it's a wake-up call that like these were the people that your son was around, and it's like obviously red flag stuff going on.
Well, we know Andrew knew that something was wrong because he sent for his son almost immediately after this happened, remember?
Yeah, that's true. But if we have to bring it up, that incident in the JLR interview, Allie says, which you've mentioned, they didn't know they were being recorded. So she said that Andrew only got involved like that because he wanted the reward money.
I missed that.
Yes.
So does that mean that Andrew knew that H knew something?
You tell me?
That's really the only way you can get reward money if he knows where
If he
Summer
felt
is.
like he could get it out of his own son.
Yeah.
That's I swear that's what I heard in that interview. It's easy to miss for sure. Like there was a lot of things in that I had to watch like a few times and I'm like, "Oh,
There's multiple conversations happening for sure.
yep." It literally. So I guess it does make sense that they didn't know they were being recorded because obviously that wouldn't have made a good it didn't make an easy recording, I should say.
So someone's No, it's actually I'll bring it up after.
Okay.
Is there a gas station nearby Candus's home? On the way to her house before you hit before you hit oh my god, I can't think of the fucking road now. I know what you're talking.
Somehow Andrew knows where she's talking about though. Like I only left in that little part at the end because he's like, I know what you're talking about. How would he know?
He's not a local.
So that was strange to me. What were you going to say, dear?
It was that they were mentioning that Allie was kind of I'm sorry. They were saying that, Andrew didn't really know H until he was 14. And Allie asked him, like, in another live, why he was such a deadbeat up until that point. He just said that he was a hoe and, like, had him focused. But I don't know how much involvement he had in his son's life, just only what I've heard on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how he came out first on J for Justice is he's wasn't the best of father in the past or something. But I kind of have to laugh though because in these recordings you can literally hear somebody's smoke detector beeping. And people in Andrew's chat were like, you still haven't replaced that smoke detector or something about it to Allie because it was like in a previous live stream too that it was happening. And both of them denied that they had smoke detectors that needed batteries. Like Andrew was like, it's not mine. I don't have any batteries in any of mine. And then Allie was like, it's not mine. We got it fixed or something. And I'm like, is this the level of what people will do in this case to lie? That like we have two people right now who are like lying and like not taking ownership of this beep that's going off.
That's interesting. Honestly,
so in case you hear a beep, it's not my room.
I heard it beep when we were live with Allie and Andrew as well.
I'm just like, oh my God.
Maybe they don't even hear it. Like sometimes when it's happening for so long, you just stop hearing it.
Right? That's concerning.
And all the girls have dumpsters. And all the girls have dumpsters. All right. Grandis, you said was in the camper? After a while, yes. Okay. Candus and Jose? What? Candus and Jose slept where? Downstairs on the bunk bed. Okay. Do you know why Candus and Don were moving to Utah?
went to Utah for a job because it paid more and everything else.
Did Jose go to Utah with Don?
No, Jose was at the house with me and Candus. And Candus at first was going to sell the house and go to. She was supposed to try to sell the house and go to Utah.
Okay.
With Don.
You have a big tooth.
So I found it interesting that apparently Candus was supposed to sell the house.
Yeah, there's a Facebook post where she's advertising the house a little bit, and someone's like, "Are you trying to sell your house?" And she said, "Yes."
I wonder what made her change her mind.
Probably not being able to sell it.
Probably.
They're like, "Can we do a walkthrough?" She's like, "No."
Now's not a good time.
Now's not a good time.
My dog's having another litter.
Oh gosh. I mean, I've sold houses before, and it takes a lot of effort to sell a home. It's not that easy.
Yeah, like you have to have it like clean and ready to like be shown at any given time. It's really annoying.
Right. You can't be smoking up in your living room like at all hours of the day.
Right. I wonder if that's why they moved the bunk beds, because it was more like to sell it would be like, this is the bedrooms down here, and then when they decided to stay, it was just better for them to be upstairs with them. I just don't get why they like moved the bunk beds, and then why this couch that allegedly was by the back door, nobody knows what happened to it.
I thought the bunk beds being moved had something to do with CPS, because it's always stuck in my head when her and Chris McDonough go downstairs. She mentions that this is Summer and I think one of the boys' rooms. I don't want to say his name. And then she specifically says, and he's only this age, which is the age right before they're not allowed to share a room anymore.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
I think the asking price was $75,000, Meg. But I can check.
Now, do you think there was an accident with Summer?
I don't know what to think. I wasn't there.
Since you left before Don came home, did you ever meet Don?
Yes, I've been done. Yeah.
All right. Are there was there bunk beds there at the time that were up? Or was it?
They were not.
Huh?
They were downstairs in the basement.
Yeah, but were they put together or just sitting off to the side?
They were put together. They were hand-made bunk beds.
Oh, okay. Because apparently on PG you said there wasn't any bunk beds back then. So, and Jose, when you and Jose were there wasn't any? Well, that seems plausible. All right. Please ask, why did the oldest son go to Utah with Don?
Because the oldest son was smoking pot and drinking.
Oh.
And Daddy wanted to get him away from that. He thought he could fix it.
Okay. But did Summer ever walk down the road by herself?
No.
Okay.
There's dark chewy dogs that are with her. Anyway.
Well, yeah, Bobby Joe Lee, that does fit. Jose said there was 2 mattresses on the floor in the living room, so that kind of fits with the sleeping arrangements. Hang on, guys, slow down. But was Jose ever mean to the children?
No.
Okay. What do you think of Judy Sue?
Judy Sue, I don't even know her.
Okay.
She doesn't.
All I know is that I heard she had cancer and she had to have surgery, and Candus was supposed to go put up drywall for her. That's all I know about her.
Okay.
I never met her, nothing.
Now, the story I'm hearing of Jose walking into the bathroom with Don and Summer in the shower. How believable is that?
I don't know, because I wasn't there when that happened.
Okay. Facts, as what Allison already said, that he was helpful around the house, as he claims. So that has been approved.
Oh, thank goodness it was approved.
The bunk beds, the boys' bunk beds are now upstairs, or was when CM went in. All right.
Of course they have chicken tenders.
I don't know if they got chicken tenders. But no, they want to know if the bunk beds for the boys were always upstairs.
No, they were downstairs in the basement.
Well, apparently they can't.
That ain't my smoke detector going off.
Yes, it is. It's not mine. I don't have any.
Mine ain't going off. Mine were just fixed.
Did Jose have sex with Grandis?
Smoke detector. That ain't going off because you hear it.
But you hear me?
What?
They want to know if Jose fucked Grandis.
Probably. No, he was not interested in Grandis.
Okay.
When she wanted to get the bus from the bottom road up the driveway into the side yard, she had asked Jose to help her. He had to drive her truck while she drove the bus. And as soon as she got it up there, she kissed him on the lips, and he pulled away from her, and she got mad at him.
Oh, boo-hoo. Did you ever meet any of the neighbors on the hill?
No. Okay. I met one guy, and I don't know where he lived. And he was a drunken old man named Billy, and Grandis was all over him like hot sticks on glue.
Would you say Grandis is a scut, so to speak?
He's not regular. What? Here, bring me my phone.
Oh,
Grandis is what?
A scut.
Ew.
Yeah. Basically she was trying to, flop her scooter around to just about any man that walked by her.
I think so.
Okay.
Yep. And that's why Jose came up with the thing that he wanted chicks with dicks.
Oh, okay. Well, did Jose and Don ever scrump?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay.
I wasn't there when Donnie came home.
Well, I don't know. I'm not asking. Water hole with Candus and Summer? And could Summer swim?
Summer stayed in the shallow part and she splashed around like any normal kid. She didn't know how to swim. She stayed in the shallow part.
Okay. Does Allie think that Billy could have done something to do with it?
No, I don't think so, because the last time I knew, Billy was in jail.
All right. So that covers Billy's ass. So Summer didn't know how to swim, but she played around in basically ankle-high water. Waist-high, all right. Do you think it could have been a dry drowning?
I don't know.
Just curiosity, because I just can't.
I found it interesting that now she's saying she doesn't know about the dry drowning, but when they were on Unmasked the first time, they were really trying to sell that theory.
At least she didn't say no.
Right.
Gosh, there's just so much stuff that I would love to clip together in this case, but it is so much, and every interview changes. I will repeat it again. I feel dumber and more confused after every live or video we watch on this case. And it just makes me really sad for Summer.
I know, like, honestly, you know what I was thinking the other day about this is I was like, how long is this going to go on for? We're like hearing from these people and it's just like more information for a little bit and then it's like nothing for weeks at a time. And then I'm like, this could for a missing child, this could go on for forever. And I don't want to be down this like rabbit hole. Like, I don't want my channel at this point. I'm like dedicated to finding out what happened, you know? But I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I hope we get answers because I don't want to be like covering this case in 10 years and being like, here we are, and she would be 16 at this time. You know, it's like I don't want to be at that point.
Right. And I hate to admit that Summer's lost in all of this sauce, but at the same time, I would rather people be talking about her than not at all.
Right. Even if it comes down to wondering what the family individuals are up to and like following them on their channels or wherever it is, it's just going to continue until at this point, like we're all kind of invested, like we're not going anywhere. So, you know.
And some people are saying, you know, they still have a gut feeling that Summer's alive, hidden away, because her being released into the linchpin of would be busting all the players that we know. And, you know, it's very well possible she could be out there still. And I think that's what some of us are holding on hope to.
Yeah, definitely the hope aspect in this case, like in any missing person case, like it kind of is a different type of true crime case to follow because the mystery behind it has nothing to do with like a body that's been found. You know what I mean? So you can't have that type of closure of the events. So hope carries missing person cases, you know?
Yeah.
So, do you think Candus was grooming Hunter for something? What? Do you think Candus was grooming our son for something? No. Okay. Did Hunter say anything about going to about the watering hole when he got home? I asked him what they did, and he said they went swimming. All right. I said, I thought you guys were supposed to go fishing. Yeah. All right. Was that all he said? Did he say anything eventful happened? No, and I didn't find out he was served alcohol until later. Okay. Now, did you have an issue with Hunter spending time with Candus? No. Because he was with the kids. Because he was with the kids. He didn't go up there to hang out with Candus. He was there to hang out with the kids. All right. Do you know that if Candus was drinking with Hunter? Not that I know of. All right. I just figured I'd ask. Because they were asking if he would drink with Candus or if he was drinking in the little woods part by the swimming hole. So I don't know. He never disclosed it. Has a Hunter? Oh, here's another one. Has a Hunter ever thrown a phone down a water well? No, that was even him. Thank you. That was some kid all the way in a different state. I wish people would get that through their thick heads. Yes. Allie, did you say she was serving kids alcohol in the past? Because you just said that your daughter and her friend were drinking with Candus when the night they slept in in Don's truck. She did that. Yeah, that was a while. That one time, but I didn't know about that until later on. Oh yeah, so you got told after the fact. Yeah. Okay. What? Yeah, people say.
So right there, she's not denying, but like she definitely downplayed all of a sudden. Because in the past, remember, she was like, yeah, they would give underage kids alcohol. Not her, but like I think her grandmother.
Her mom, yeah.
Oh yeah, her mom said that they give underage kids alcohol. And here, Allie's like trying to act like she didn't know. And then they brought up sometime and she's like, oh yeah, but that was after the fact.
I think it has something to do with self-preservation, to be completely honest with you. It's not something that anybody would want to admit, like, yeah, I knew that they were giving my kid alcohol.
True.
I knew that they were that I was sending my kids up there and they were getting drunk. And she's also saying that she didn't know until later on that H was drinking at the watering hole. But we've all agreed that we have seen that his sister was saying that they knew he was inebriated when he got home.
Yeah.
And I mean, when somebody's drinking.
Right. It's pretty evident.
Pretty obvious, yeah.
And hi, Scott H. I saw you come in here. And thank you everyone for being here. I just have a few more, but they're interesting.
Let's go.
Hey, what would have asked? So thank you. Not a problem, Lady Justice. Not a problem. I just want to get to the bottom of the bullshit and get my son off the chopping block. What do people say? What about people saying Candus was pregnant after summer with Hunter's kid? No. What? No. Or I never heard about that. Or would that be more reliable to be Jose? Oh, everybody thought is Grandis lesbian that you know of? I know. Well, I think she's bi. Okay. She did have a woman lover. All right, because it was brought up that Grandis and Rose with their dad or some other woman. They left. Grandis left Rose and Candus with their dad because Grandis ran off with a woman. It was in a relationship with a woman for I think 10 years or something like that. Okay. And she's mad because the bitch took everything she had. Oh, okay. So that explains why Grandis is on the hill. Yeah, I guess.
I heard that really early on.
She was back and forth to Wisconsin to Hold on, guys. Hold on.
It's interesting that Grandis left Rose and Candus to be with some woman. Like, I'm assuming they were probably in their teens or something.
Yeah, like it sounds like she left her children and her husband, yeah. But I had heard that really early on. Crazy says she remembers hearing it too.
That could have been very impressionable on a teenager's mind. Like that's an event that would stunt development. It's traumatic.
And also it would be a reason why Candus isn't the exemplary mom.
Exactly. Because she's only knows what she's been shown on to some level.
And Grandis is already cold. So can you imagine cold and abandonment? Like being cold and feelings of abandonment?
Right.
And we see that already with Candus. I mean, not even trying to use it against her, but Summer and my boys, they was my whole life. It's like, you have 6 kids.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Exactly. And people always forget about that.
I think even she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, people say, what would have asked? So thank you. Not a problem, Lady Justice, not a problem. I just want to get to the bottom. Andrew asked if she knows if Grandis is on the hill right now. No, I don't. I don't associate with her. Okay. What did the doctor notice if he was drinking or not? I don't know. What doctor? His doctor appointment that day.
Did you hear one of the grandmothers in the background? What doctor?
Yeah.
Red flag. Because they're really sticking by this doctor theory at this point. Or story.
They didn't say anything. All right. Is Don and Candus really married legally? Yeah, they were married in a church. Okay, that don't mean shit. Was the legal documents put up? I don't know. I've never seen any. Okay.
So when she says they were married in the church, it's when you get married in the church, you have to have your your marriage license. So I think that's why she says, yeah, they were married in the church. He's like, that doesn't mean anything. But if it's like a legit church, they will make sure that you have your documents.
Interesting. Makes sense.
Okay. Was Summer known to just run off?
Summer never just ran off. She never ran off. She never left the front yard.
And another question that was already answered once, but I want you to clarify. Jose and Candus fucked, yes?
He's just asking.
Just the way he says things, like I laugh because it's like I literally listen to him and laugh out loud to myself.
CDT was saying he was a character, and I said I enjoy him, and I do.
Yeah, I think even Karen was saying that Andrew's funny.
She got her brand new clothes and everything, so tell me they weren't fucking. Make sure she took a shower. She was clean.
Alright, hang on a minute. Yeah, I don't know what smoke checker it is, but it ain't one in this room. I don't know. Sorry about the beep, guys.
Apologizing about the beep.
Sorry about the beep that's not existing, guys.
One time I was watching him and he was reading comments in chat and he was like reading it, and then all of a sudden he realized what he was reading and he goes, "Why am I a piece of shit?" So someone was calling him that in chat and he was like reading it out loud, and you could see it on his face, like him like realizing what he was reading. And he's like, "Why am I a piece of shit?" And like I played that over and over because it was during a screen recording I had taken and I was cracking up.
I hate laughing because this is such a serious matter, but at the same time, you have to just let the ebbs and flows in this case is that some of it is just so ridiculous it's funny.
Exactly. And I do not feel bad because it's just like you said, like a little bit, you have to have it here and there. And the content that the laugh was about was just, he's reading his chat, and I don't know why they called him that, but his reaction, I was just dying. I might even have that screen recording somewhere.
Hang on. I gotta get back to that question. Do you think Hunter saw some shit today, that day that could have continued to affect him?
No. I don't really know about that, but from what I understand, no.
Okay.
So, yeah, she's saying that there was nothing that occurred that would have traumatized H that day.
But in that one video, they're saying that he is traumatized from that day. So
exactly.
Which one is it?
About H never be.
But from what I understand, no.
Okay. But can you tell what the comment about H never being the same was? Yeah, can you clear that up?
Because Summer was like his little sister. This whole case has thrown this child, and he's getting pounded and he goes out and he's getting pounded for he's getting harassed.
Andrew that Hunter mentioned. Do you know of the other Andrew that Hunter mentioned?
Oh, Andy?
Yeah. Was he a blah person?
He was a
She like doesn't answer. I don't know if I like cut it off too soon. You guys can check that out, but I couldn't get I don't think she ever answered about knowing Andy.
I didn't hear her say yes or no either. But for some reason, I feel like she could know Andy and not know Jody Sue. I don't know.
And again, like I stopped that screen recording. I might have just not been paying attention. So if anyone ends up watching it and hears the answer to that, let me know.
Investigation. Is our son still on the investigation list? Yes, it is an open investigation. Is our son still on the investigation list? Yes. Yeah, everybody is. Yep. No, were the vehicles moved around before?
At least they didn't lie about that.
Right.
Not calling them
CDT's
liars, just saying it'd be easy to be like, no, yeah, he was investigated, he's fine, but they're honest about it.
Right. And to some extent, they can only lie to so much, Certain things they probably are very honest about, I feel. CDT said she didn't really answer like about Andy. Then that's weird.
Summer went missing? No. Was Hunter on the floor rocking back and forth ever? Oh, there's a rumor Hunter was on the floor rocking back and forth. All right.
Not a rumor.
So they started that rumor. They literally started. Now they're like, huh?
Yeah, she said it out of her own mouth.
So
that's weird.
A lot of people rely a lot on what Allie is saying, and I don't 100% trust her.
I still think it's to protect Hunter.
Because he knows what's going on, or because the open investigation, because they've said things like he'll be okay in the end.
Let's just say Hunter knows something that happened and it's illegal. She would want to protect her son from getting in trouble.
Right. It could be that, or because of the investigation, they know that H's information ultimately he's safe because he didn't have anything to do with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in a way they're protecting H by just keeping it kind of vague about certain things.
But to completely deny that she said that is also very weird. Because that was a big statement that Hunter freaked out, she wigged out, and he was sitting on the floor rocking, and she had to call a girlfriend to come get him. To come get him out of the house.
Yeah, that's huge. What do you mean? Huh? You guys are the ones that said it, and that interview, excuse me, was what? A couple months ago, February-ish? Or January?
It was 3 months ago.
You're doing great. All my mods in chat. Thank you so much.
We've definitely dropped everybody's link.
Yeah, we're good there. And thanks everyone for doing that too.
No. Was Hunter on the floor rocking and there's multiple reasons. All right. What do you think of the video of Summer sleeping on the milk jugs? Not allowed to say. All right, you can't discuss that due to the ongoing investigation? Mm-hmm. All right, and you can't discuss who else was in the truck as well, correct? Yep. Okay, thank you. I just don't want to get you in trouble, because if you get in trouble, that gets me in trouble,
So she can't discuss the milk jug picture or who was in the truck.
Yep, that's one of the hours. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mute, so you guys probably heard me breathing real loud.
I didn't hear anything. Oh, that's funny. But interesting, I thought.
if someone accidentally or on purpose if something accidentally or on purpose supposed to be happened to Summer at the hands of Candus, do you think Don would cover it up and protect Candus? Probably. All right. Yes, H is still still on the suspect list, but not that. Is he up in the top, or is that just the parents and Jose right now? I have no idea. All right.
He was gonna say not that high up. What the hell? Like something
Yeah,
you
and
would
he
know.
said parents and Jose. Why would Andrew be under the impression that the parents and Jose are like top suspects?
And how would he? Why would he assume that law enforcement would give? Why would he be privy to that information?
Right? They're just going to be telling like somebody involved in the case, H, like, so here's our suspect list.
Right. Marlena can't
Sure you
too
tell
put
your
suspect
parents.
list. Yeah, it's that's sketch.
But if it's like like if behind closed doors kind of talking, maybe they get the vibe that that's the direction.
That he's definitely dropping that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like speaking too much. Allie's probably like, can you not?
If they even catch on to those little drops.
True. We're the ones that are like, wait, what?
Summer wander off alone. Candus for Summer for drugs. No. Okay. How far away from the house would Summer wander off alone? Like to the front yard. Then that's it? She never left the front yard. So always in eyesight? Yes. Okay. I meant typically the reason Allie called GPS on the wells. What was the exact reason you called GPS on? I know what mine are. Child abuse and child neglect. Okay. Chris McDonough is to blame for Hunter's harassment. Exactly. Him and Jeremy Duggan? Yeah, question. Do you think, I know you already answered this, but I'll say it. No, she does not think Jose would hurt Summer. Sorry, I got new people joining in. Gotta give me a minute. Cheated with Don. No. Okay. How much time did you spend with Jose? A week and a half. All right.
A week and a half is how much time she spent with Jose.
I believe that.
It just seems like Jose speaks about it much longer.
Must have been a very long week.
Or is it like you said, like delusions?
Yeah. I think he has romanticized
that time there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I completely blame him on that because they obviously know the timeline.
Yeah, and they're like in touch with reality in a way, like I don't know.
All right. And you don't know if he came back after? Nope.
So people were asking her if she thought that Jose had gone back afterwards, and she's saying she doesn't know.
I honestly, at this point, wouldn't doubt it, but I also will stick to what I'm saying, that I think he got to know them through social media, and he's just fixated on that.
Yeah, because like CDT said, like, where did Jose get 6 months from? He said it was cold in the first interview.
Also, I'm not saying Candus would take pictures of him and post them all the time, but I'm sure we would catch him in the background of some pictures if he was there for 6 months.
Now everyone's going to go back over the pictures. Did you hear at one point he was like saying that, I think, oh, no, because you didn't watch it. In the interview room one, they were talking about her birthday or how old Summer was, and he like said 3. And they were like, you mean 4? He was like, because she would have been like 3 or 4 at the time, and they were like, oh, 4 or something. So I don't know, it was just strange.
Well, actually, she might have been Let's see. In 2020, she had just turned 4, right?
Yeah, so that's where I'm like, why?
It reminds me of that scene from Matilda where she's like, "I'm 6.5, Dad." He's like, "You're 4."
I love that movie.
Did law enforcement instruct her not to talk about timeline? Hunter got dropped off, and do you know if she was awake or asleep? She was asleep. Okay, so you did see her the day the day that Hunter got dropped off. Okay. As for his, all right. As for Jose's middle name, I don't know. Do you think they'll ever find Summer? I hope so. And your reasoning for allowing Hunter to go with Candus, even though you were fighting, was he went with her for the kids for Summer. Did Candus rent out rooms? Often? What? Did Candus rent out bedrooms often? No. You. No. And you did say Jose reached out to you after Summer went MIA. Yeah, he sent me a text message. All right, that you know of. Were the boys with Don that day at work? I have no idea. And do you know of? All right, so and you don't know if they got rid of the couch. Maria, could you please put it back?
And that was it. Those were all, again, you guys can watch the full stream, and I'm sure there's many more things that was said that you guys might find interesting and all that, and all the other clips that I've taken from, check them out. And, if you find something, let me know down in the comments or on your own channel for the ones in chat who are content creators. Thank you so much, everyone, and the mods and Amanda for being here.
No problem. I just wanted to say, I'm not tired of them, but I'm just tired of not being able to get answers. Like, just as we're about to get to the part, I can't answer that. We're just so tired of that.
And it's one thing for us to cross stories between different people like Dudley and, there's just so many people that we've had to listen to. It's another thing when we have to start being like, wait, you said this before and now you're saying no now. Like, we shouldn't have to have Allie's statements be so different on Unmasked channel and Chris McDonough's channel and, here and,
Prayer Garden, yeah.
Prayer Garden, yeah.
It makes you wonder if
father's channel.
It makes you wonder if she really is just confused or if she really is just lying. And at this point, I don't even want to call anybody a liar anymore. They all have bad memories. They all need to take their ginseng and do some brain exercises.
And it's like, pretty much everyone knows the truth. It shouldn't be changing at all. Your stories would just remain the same if you're telling the truth.
You know what it is in this case, and what I'm guessing is that in this case, the truth will not set them free. In fact, it will do the complete opposite, so they have to deny everything.
Yeah, 100%. And on that note, I think that concludes
for sure
our I'm sorry it went so long. We just end up discussing so much between everything that you have to say and then chat. I love doing these sporadically, and I really appreciate you joining.
Don't worry about it. I love talking about Summer, even though sometimes we're talking about the mess that is the people in Summer's life. I just, let's keep her in the forefront. Let's just remember that she's still missing and remember that all these people have something to do with her, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Her
Like,
disappearance. Where is
yeah.
Summer and why has she disappeared? Why has Summer got gone?
Exactly. And, you know, again, it took me a couple days to kind of soak in everything that Jose was saying, but ultimately I'm just like not believing him 100% either, or Allie still. Like I can't, like you were saying earlier, there's not one adult in this case that we know has told even maybe like 90% of the truth. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, if you believe in prayer, you know, pray for Summer and also pray that one of these people either drops the ball or finally decides to speak up. Because at this point, I think one of them holds the answer. And I don't know
For
who.
sure. Yeah, 100%. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And please subscribe to Amanda S. Vita's channel as well. And you'll find more content and updated information on that Naomi missing person case.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. And Crazy's asking me what happened to my Naomi Arion video because I was making one, but my video pertained to her prior to Troy Driver's arrest. So it kind of just got scrapped, but I probably should just do a live on it and discuss everything.
Yeah, do a live. And then when's Brian Enton releasing his stuff on it?
I don't know. He was headed there, I think it was yesterday, which brought tears to my eyes, but I can't wait to see his coverage.
Yeah, that would be interesting to talk about or clip from or whatever, but I'm sure you'll come up with something good.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. Amber, thank you for inviting me up here, and thank you for keeping Summer's memory alive.
Yeah, hopefully we get more answers soon in all the cases. So thanks again, everybody. And yeah, I'm so awkward at buys. So bye.
Bye.